on, Fitzy.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Good morning, all you beautiful and very much richer people. Since yesterday, we have moved some way up from where anybody probably expected us to go to. We're going to go through all of that today. We have news about battered bears. Justin Sun, we're going to talk about the ETFs. When are we likely to see the new ETF applications? We're going to talk about what was the top 10 in 2021. Last bull run, when we got to the peak, what was in the top 10? We're going to have a look. You'll see some familiar faces. And if you're Tariq, look away. You don't want to watch that segment. We're going to look at Paul for Polygon And we're going to look at Eclipse, which is a new chain, new layer 2, connecting two of the more popular chains. All of that in an hour with some X-Files and some market news. There's a lot of people in chat, as you would expect, because the markets are pumping. Where were you all yesterday? Where were you all when Bitcoin was treading water for the last 6 months? But welcome to you all. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. We have broken 186,000. We are on our way to 200,000 by the end of 2024. That's the plan. Our bull run target is to get to 250,000 followers. That's the bull run target. That's next November. I think we should probably be able to do that. Title of the show today is Grin and Bear It. If you're a bear, if you are One Ear Kabir, if you're in chat thinking we're going to go to $40,000, I hope you're licking your wounds. But I also hope you haven't been liquidated too much. It's been painful. Good morning, Chris, KB, Bullish Bull, Hope, Kishan, Velvet Rope, Hidden, everybody else in chat. Welcome to you all today. I hope you're doing well. Should we get on with the show then? Or should we give out some more good mornings? Let's start with the charts. Good morning, Zolo Sky. Right then, Bitcoin coming in just below $88,000. Okay? Remember what I've been saying all along. Bitcoin doesn't do anything. You close your eyes and you wake up one morning and it is suddenly $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 higher than it was when you went to sleep. And that's what Bitcoin does. It moves first. $1.7 trillion. Total market cap is coming in. 3 trillion. 3 trillion. We've hit $3 trillion. We've not done that for what, three years? The target is, of course, still a long way away. October, November, December next year is really when we should be topping out if we follow the cycle. Look at that volume. In the 2 years or 2.5 years, we have been streaming. I don't think I've ever seen a $317 billion trading day in history. I think we've touched 200 billion a couple of times. 317 billion, absolutely incredible. Bitcoin dominance, ETH dominance, still ticking along. We have some serious gains today. Bitcoin 87.6. It was pushing towards 90,000 last night, but let's give it a breather. It's big and it's old, a little bit like me. Ethereum coming in just below $3,400. Solana coming in at 216. BNB 637. Everything is up. Remember what you're going to see as well. As you see these pumps going on, you're going to see money rotate. Okay, you're going to see money going in from Bitcoin. Bitcoin will start to fall back. Then you're likely to see something like Solana pump, or in the case of the last 24, 48 hours, the likes of Crow pumping. Money will rotate between the alts. Not everything goes up in a straight line. Some alts will retrace. There'll be profit taking. That will go into other coins. That's simply how it works. 24-hour gainers then, as you'd expect, some of these coins are absolutely tearing up trees. Dogecoin, I told you about it yesterday. There is talk of an ETF. I'm not sure about that, and I don't really like Doge. Not a fan of the token. That is up 44%. I cannot believe it's got a $59 billion market cap. AIOZ is up 41. Kronos is up. Akash, Bonk, Brett. Remember what we said about Brett? Was it anything under 11 cents was a good price for Brett? I think that's starting to pick up. Stark, there's lots of gainers. I'm not hoping to see too many losers today. Radium is down. That is unusual, but that probably is to do with the fact it's now $4.80. It's up 280% in the last, in 11 months. And to be fair to Radium, it's been on a tear. I remember talking about this a few weeks ago. It was under $3. People are taking profits. Sui is down just below $3. That's gone, in my opinion, too quickly. And I think we need to relax a little bit. Cat in a Dog's World, again, that's been ripping up. That's now over a cent. So there's a lot of profit taking going on, but there's also a lot of profits still on the table. Don't forget, you can take profits at any point you want. If you want to take some profits out of a coin where you're up 500 or 600%, do it. There's nobody out there who is more qualified to work on your own portfolio than yourself. Don't listen to these shillfluencers telling you that we're going to be at $180,000 by December. Don't listen to people telling you we're going to have a $3,000 sol by the end of November. They really don't know what they're talking about. You do it however you want to do it. And then when you are a success, you have yourself to thank. Right, let's move on and have a look at some of the charts. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you are all well. You must understand the magnitude of the HTF momentum here. Bitcoin 3-month RSI is pushing above 70. It's only done that twice before. Both times price exceeded the upper band before that momentum exhausted. That band sits at 120k and it will move higher. Again, we gave you our two targets yesterday. We said 90 and we said 100k. Not for today, not for tomorrow. We didn't expect to touch 89,500 yesterday. There are two targets. That's what we are aiming for, but not now. Okay, we are going to retrace. Okay, we don't know where to. Well, we've got an idea. I'll show you in a minute. We are going to retrace a little bit, probably before we go on towards 100k. We do need to cool off. But this is also, as I tell you every day, I bring in other people's opinions so you don't just hear my own. That's why I do this. Gary Gensler is going in January. He might even go in December. Now, I made a video called Donald's Ducks, okay? I made it for the OGs about a week ago, and I put it live for everybody else yesterday. And in that video, I talk about all the different things which we need to have in a row. And I did the same thing last year, if you remember. We talked about the ETF, we talked about interest rates, we talked about inflation coming down, we talked about the halving, all of these ducks. Some of them signposted, others not so much. We have another set of, we've called them Donald's Ducks now. These are things that we want to happen to really push us on to the highest price, even KB or One Ear Kabir could ever imagine. And I'm not going to give you some of those prices. But we need interest rates to come down, inflation to be under control. We need more ETFs. We need the Solana ETF. We need the XRP ETF. We need a new head of the SEC. We need new financial policies. All of those things need to happen for us to sail in towards the end of next year at incredible highs that most of you will not expect. And yes, I am trying to be the voice of reason. I am not going to go super bullish, and conversely, I am not super bearish when we come down. I try and follow the middle ground. So FOMO is happening, yes, but it's not the real FOMO. This is the post-election FOMO where we know Gary Gensler is gone. We know there's going to be more ETFs. There is a rate decision. I think it's the 18th of December. That is where we expect another 0.25% rate cut. Okay? The week before Christmas. December, we always have the Santa rally. For those of you that don't know, I think it's 7 years out of 9 or 7 years out of 10, the stock markets go up 1 percentage point in December. Okay, now that could be tied to insurance companies selling their dodgy stocks and shares, whatever it might be. But we do have a Santa rally in December. If we get a rate cut on the 18th of December, then Bitcoin is going to carry on until the end of this year. But this is still positive. We should not be super negative. Even if we come down $10,000, even if we come down $5,000 from where we are, we've had a super move up. We just put a $12,000 green candle, weekly candle in. If that doesn't make you bullish, I do not know what to say. Go and watch Gladiator. Are you not entertained? Assets in the US spot Bitcoin ETFs are now up to 84 billion, 2/3 of the way to what gold ETFs have. All of a sudden, there's a decent shot they will surpass gold before their first birthday, and we predicted it would take 3 to 4 years. Do not underestimate what has happened, okay? It's very easy for me to sit here and say it's going to take X, it's going to take Y. Gold ETFs have been around for a very long time. Bitcoin ETFs haven't even been around a year, and they're 2/3 of the size of gold, okay? In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has surpassed silver. It's now, I think, the 8th largest asset in the world. It does want to go for gold. It's a long way off that. It might never get there, but that's the path it is on. We are 2/3 of the way to seeing Bitcoin being the largest ETF category in the world. And this has happened in 1 year. If you're not bullish on that, again, I don't know what to say to you. There's a lot of things to be positive about, One thing you do need to do, though, is keep your feet on the floor, okay? Don't get overly excited and start buying all the coins we've been telling you to buy all year. Don't start buying them now, okay? If you are, dollar cost average in. That's the way forward. Huge trading volume for the ETFs yesterday. By 12 o'clock, 2.5 billion in one of them, 600 million in another. We were talking about breaking $1 billion last week in the first hour for Grayscale. It's now done 2.5 billion in a day in 3 and a bit hours, or 4 hours, sorry. It's incredible. The amount of money coming in is brilliant. It's what we want to see. But again, if you want to take some profits, take some profits, okay? But this is a time where if you base it on history, the price should go up with a few corrections between now and the end of the year. So take some profits by all means, wait for Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything else to retrace a little bit and get back in. Or just enjoy the ride. Sit on your hands and watch my stream every day. And the Oracle was supposed to stream last night. The price action was so severe. We also ordered food. It didn't arrive. We didn't eat till 8 o'clock, and he was supposed to be streaming at 9. So it was a bit of a tight squeeze for him to stream last night. Tonight, totally different. We'll be eating early. He'll be able to do the 9 o'clock stream. So tonight, just as a reminder for all of you, we have the Oracle. He will be streaming in 10 hours from now, and he will be going over the charts and hopefully going and doing a little bit of a deep dive into Bitcoin and where it can go. Remember, this is the typical trading mentality of somebody that tries to FOMO in. You wait for the price to come down. It doesn't. You buy the all-time high. It dumps. Okay? That's what happens. If you want to get in right now, by all means, but dollar cost average in. If you've got $1,000 and you want to buy Bitcoin, buy $100 a day. For the next 10 days, buy $100 a day. And yes, you might catch the dip. There's no hard and fast rule to say we have to come down, and there's no hard and fast rule to say we have to go up. Okay, we are at price discovery, and that is very difficult to predict. We can look at previous psychological price points, which I've given you, 90 and 100,000. Then we can start to look up to different fib levels. We can do all of that, but price discovery is a scary time for a lot of things because you can't predict the future. Now then, Coin Bureau reveals they've spoken to the Bitcoin OS team and he will be invested. This is quite bullish. It will allow for Bitcoin liquidity to be bridged to Cardano. I've spoken to the team and we're going to be invested in them. Again, this is the theme that's probably going to push Cardano up towards 70, 80 cents. Why? Because we've got Charles advising the Trump administration. We've got Cardano bridging to not only Bitcoin, but to Ethereum and to Solana and to XRP. So all of those negative naysayers out there that have been bashing Cardano, it has potential. Okay, that's what I'll leave it as. It has potential. It is nowhere near in the same league as Solana, of course, or Ethereum, but it now has some potential. We can see real world value and a way to extract value from Cardano, which probably we didn't see before because the DeFi is a bit lacking. The memes never really got up there. We did have Snek and Bank and they did do quite well, but they haven't got the money beside them. They're also desperately in need of a stable coin on Cardano. Again, that needs to be sorted out. Now then, max pain can be sometimes to the upside. People won't admit it, but many quit and gave up and lost hope. I do not think we see real excitement or retail return until most of these coins are back at the highs from earlier in the year. This is just the recovery and undoing of the SEC damage. Some of that is true, but again, max pain, what I would say is max pain is not sitting there and watching a $16,000 Bitcoin. Max pain is selling your $16,000 Bitcoin and watching it hit $90,000. That's max pain. That's when you got out at the lows. And that's what I've been trying, hopefully, to tell you not to do. I am, of course, never going to tell you not to sell or not to buy because that's not my job. I'm just here to give you my opinion and my opinion only. But there are times where you will profit more from selling than others. Okay? For example, selling right now could turn out to be the best thing you could do, and until maybe May next year. Maybe we don't go any higher than 90. Maybe we come back down to the 70s and we stay there for the next 6 months. That's a possibility. Maybe you time it to get this next local top. Fine. Alternatively, you sit on your hands and you ride it out for another year and you see where we are in October or November next year. But Max Payne is selling and capitulating. And I've told you time and time again, do not give the men in suits your crypto. That is not what we are supposed to do. Right, so let me put that on mute. So let us move on and see where we are. Remember, if you're new here, smash the like button and say hello. Cry your heart out, Peter Schiff. Now, Peter Schiff was peddling his ordinals on X, I think, was he not, a few days ago. His wife owns crypto, his son owns crypto, and Peter Schiff is like that man that stands in the middle of your town centre with the sign that says the end is nigh. He has been calling Bitcoin since, what, $10,000, $15,000? He's now got to the stage where he's telling people that Bitcoin has bribed the administration, the Trump administration. I really don't know what to say about Peter Schiff. I think he wakes up in the morning in a cold sweat, knowing he has to face yet another week or month of Bitcoin going up. And again, the problem with people like Peter Schiff is that everybody should be entitled to change their opinion on something. You can like Bitcoin today and decide that 90,000 is the top and sell. That's your opinion. And then if somebody comes to you and says, okay, well, Saudi Arabia is now going to go and buy $100 billion worth of Bitcoin, you can change your opinion and not sell the Bitcoin. And that's what clever people do. What Peter Schiff does is he stares a new asset class in the face and point blankly refuses to accept it. And that's what he does. And he talks about, yesterday he was saying that, well, if we buy all the Bitcoin and then we sell the Bitcoin to pay our debt, it will crash the Bitcoin price. Well, I'm sorry, but didn't that just happen to gold in the last 50 years? Didn't gold go through the doldrums? The UK government sold gold, Germany sold gold, America sold gold, pushed the price down. That's what happens when you sell an asset. Okay? So he is confused and he's in denial. That's all I will say. And yes, Bitcoin did touch the fib level. 90,000 was my next level, but I thought 90,000 was not going to be approached anytime soon. I thought it was going to be another maybe 4 or 5 weeks. Once we broke 80,000, my target for the end of the year obviously went out the window. Bottom right-hand corner, you see 86,000. That's my price target for the end of the year. That's obviously been blown out of the water now. We now need to look higher up, but we're going to have a look at the chart in a minute and see where we could retrace to. So this is already out of date. 85,000 liquidations top 680 million. We saw last night a period of short squeezes where more and more money was coming into the market, shorting the market, or trying to push their liquidations out, and everybody was getting liquidated at 85,000, 86, 88,000, 89,000. People were just getting wiped out, and hundreds of millions were taken off the bears last night, and that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt an awful lot. And I think what you should probably do is follow the trend to the end. And what I mean is, when we're seeing God candles, when we're seeing $12,000 weekly wicks, you don't know where we're going to end up. Okay? Yes, we can't go up forever. We know all of that. But we also know that you're betting against the house. And you have to work out, is the house exhausted yet? Or are we still going? And a lot of those shorts decided that the house, as it was exhausted, bet against it, and then we've just been crushed. So we did wick up. We came up towards, I think, 89.5. Yeah, we got to 89.5. It's a solid move. I mean, if you look at the move we did here, and you look at that kind of move, it was a very, very similar move indeed. Let's just move that over there. That is a very similar move there. Okay, so that was roughly in the price range of where I thought we would go to. It's a similar size move. We spent March, so end of September in this move. It was doing nothing. Now, what I would like to see is, rather than a massive retracement, I always talk about this thing here, which is the bull market support band. Okay, this thing, the moving average. Okay, and I always say you don't want to go too far from that, because when you come down, it's a hard landing. Now, if you go all the way back to here, this was October, and this was when we started that move. We went from October all the way to June, and we didn't really touch it. That was, I think, on a couple of exchanges, maybe a touch. So we don't have to actually touch it, but we don't want to move away from it too much. And that's the key. If you go all the way back to the very first top, we left it October and we came back down in May. We left it in October, we came all the way down in June. Now, I am not saying that we are going to go up from October to next May. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that we do need to stay in touch with it, because this is the moving average. So, of course, as the price goes up, this goes up. And yes, we stayed fairly close to it, and we don't really go too far beneath it. We don't move too far away from it. But when we're above it, we're bullish. When we're below it, we're bearish. That is the simple rule of thumb. Now, we've moved a considerable way from it. Now, imagine if we then stayed there for a period of time. Okay, how many of you would be happy if we did that? And that took us to June next year. Would you be happy with that move? Or are you asking for $150,000 tomorrow? I'm not saying we're going to do that. We could instead retrace back down. And we could. Now, I did look at something off the chart here, and that is here, okay? About $82,500, there is an awful lot of buy orders. So although we're probably not going to come back down towards 64,000, because that would be a pretty terrible crash, we could come down to 82.5. That's where there's a lot of orders. So I'm not going to move my 90,000. I'm not going to move my 100,000, but I am going to put this one in now, which is 82,500. So if we see a correction today, and remember, the higher the price of Bitcoin, the more thousands it can move. So a 5% crash from 20,000 is only $1,000, but a 5% crash from 90,000 is a $4,500 move down. And the higher the price we go, the more thousands we move. So going from 20 to 30,000 is a 50% pump, but going from 100 to 110,000 is only a 10% pump. So we've got to get used to, as we get a higher and higher price, we've got to get used to more dollar moves. So if we did do a move to 82,500 from here, that's not even a 5% move. It's what, a 3 or 4% move. So again, and we could do something like this. Okay, that is a possibility. And we have a little bit of a cool off, we relax a little bit, and we take it smooth. Now, of course, everything I'm saying is pure conjecture. It's my opinion. I don't know. This chart, because we're in FOMO, we could just keep doing that. Who knows? But I do think if we have a cool off, 82,500 is where that cool off period would find support. That's where all the buy orders are at. So that's why I've marked it up. If we come down, because we've moved so far up, then we could come down and retest the high 70s. 78,000 is always a price. 68,000 is always a price. 58,000. So if we did come down a little bit further to 78, again, look at where we are. We are at absolute all-time highs right now. So any move down, even to 78,000, we're still above previous all-time highs. It's not a time to worry, but it's a time to also not panic if we do have a small move down. And a small move down and staying above 80,000 for me is massively bullish. And then we have a run at 90, and maybe we get rejected again at 89.5, and then maybe we come down. Now, that was an article about Justin Sun. Let me go and get this one up. Give me 1 second to go and find this. I will check chat in a second once I've found this article. There we go. So this is about our good friend Justin Sun, who we like. Bitcoin just traded up into the 1.6. I've just read that one out. Yeah, good morning, Tariq. I hope you're well. To time to wreck these news. Copium, hopium. You know what? If we move down and you sell at 85 and you take some profits and you bought at 15, you're happy, aren't you? What are you, a 6.5, 7x up? You should be fairly happy with that. But I still don't think we're done. And I am not one who trades daily, weekly, probably even monthly. I am going to be trading Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever it might be in about a year's time. And also, I did tell you all when I unlocked my Ethereum. I told you I unlocked my Ethereum in October. It had been locked ever since the genesis of proof of stake. It was there probably, 2.5, 3 years. I unlocked it all. It's still not all unlocked. And I've moved it all into a liquid position. Just in case we do see a massive December high, then I'll sell some Ethereum. If not, that will be my only trade. If that's the case, that'll be my only trade between now and the end of next year. Right, Justin Sun cashed out 60 million in Ethereum after the 29% price surge. An earlier investor, he moved 1,555 ETH, turning a $1,951 investment into a massive profit. And there he is. Isn't he called His Royal Highness? Something like that now. His Royal Emperor? I can't remember his name now. He's got a title these days. So after the rally, he sold 19,000 ETH. He sent it across to an exchange. It's his strategy where he's accumulated 400,000 ETH between February and August, averaging 3,000 per coin. His offload is insignificant. He's probably sold 60 million to go and buy, I don't know, Mudeng or something like that, I'd imagine. But again, 400,000 ETH is not a bad amount to have, especially if the price does go 8 to 10,000 at the end of the bull run, which would be an incredible price and also make him worth, 4 billion, something like that he'd get. So he has been selling his Ethereum. Again, it's not really an issue. Anybody can sell whenever they want. But when somebody like Justin Sun sells, or Michael Saylor, any of the big names, Vitalik sells, it always becomes headline news. Was it a good idea to sell? Well, he's sold a fraction. He's got 400,000 ETH. He's sold, 1.5% of his position for 60 million? Again, it's a solid move. I would not blame him for doing that at all. Right then, very quickly, let's have a look at the chart, see what is happening with Ethereum. I think I left my other targets on Ethereum, but whereas Bitcoin is at all-time highs, the likes of Solana, the likes of Ethereum are nowhere near their all-time highs. When I say nowhere near, I mean Bitcoin has been above the bull market support band for some time, and my arrow, in all fairness, my arrow was kind of right. It was just in the wrong place. So if we move the arrow, I mean, come on. That's not bad, is it? You'll see these various white lines. These are my different price targets for Ethereum. I didn't draw these. I haven't looked at this chart for a long time. But that downward move from May bottomed out pretty much at this level over here, which we marked up, which was the January, which was 2,400. These price targets on here, 3,300, and then back up towards 4,000. Price target for me, then we've got, again, very similar to Bitcoin again, 4,000 is the next price target, and then 5,000. And I've seen a lot of people saying that Ethereum's moved up too quickly. I mean, again, this was only February. if we were to do the same or similar move again, we'd go over 4,000. I don't think it's a bad price, 3,300 for Ethereum. Of course, $2,300 was a far better price. But if you've missed it, dollar cost averaging into Ethereum is not a bad idea either. Yes, it can retrace. Maybe it retraces to 2,900 again. But if you dollar cost average in now and you do it every week, maybe for the next 2.5 months, you should catch any dip that we see on Ethereum, any dip that you see on Bitcoin or Solana, because, you know, this isn't a case of every altcoin and Bitcoin are at all-time highs. Bitcoin leads the way. And then when Bitcoin dominance breaks down, these alts, not all of them, but these alts are going to move on and up through the roof. So just bear in mind, even though Bitcoin is at nearly $90,000, Solana's all-time high was $255. We're at 212 or 216 now, whatever it might be. So we're not at all-time highs. We're not all-time highs for Ethereum, XRP. There aren't many coins that have broken their all-time highs this year yet. So Bitcoin is one of the major exceptions, if not the major exception. Right then, why there will be several XRP and Solana ETF filings this November. Since Trump's re-election, XRP and Solana prices have surged on hopes of looser regulations, with several new ETF filings expected in November. So, again, we look at what's going to come next. The ducks in a row, as I was saying about Donald Duck at the start of the show. The Solana ETF is pretty much nailed on. The XRP ETF is pretty much nailed on. Now, what is important is not that they're going to get the ETF, is when is that ETF going to happen? Grayscale has a habit of dumping, okay? We saw it with Bitcoin. I said it wasn't going to happen with Ethereum, but I made a video on the off chance that it did, and then that video came true. So it dumped Bitcoin, it dumped Ethereum. What's it going to do to Solana? It's going to dump Solana, okay? So Solana is going to get dumped when this ETF goes live. So what's important is when this ETF is approved. If it's approved in February, March, we probably have a good chance of the dip going into the summer and then Solana having an absolutely amazing end of the bull run. But if these ETFs are not approved until, say, July, August, or September next year, that peak FOMO is going to be negated to some respect in those coins by Grayscale dumping. And there's no way around that. Yeah, they're going to have to outperform everybody while Grayscale is just going 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, and just dumping the market. So we've got to be careful. We do want more ETFs, but we don't want too many. And for this bull run, we want those ETFs to be approved at the right time. And that is the start of the administration. So Hester Peirce, or the other two gentlemen that have been picked or as potential SEC chairs, they need to come in, drop all the court cases, and then approve these ETFs. And if that takes 5 or 6 months, then I do think it's going to kick Solana in the nuts. Okay, I do think it is going to cause problems. But what it's going to do before the ETF goes live is pump Solana and pump XRP. So if Solana goes into the end of the year at $300, and we are talking about a Solana ETF going live on June the 1st, then it might not be a bad idea to sell in May and then go away as the story goes and then come back in September. That might not be a bad move. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to happen because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going off the previous 2 cycles that we've had. Previous 2 ETFs that we've had. So if we get the ETF, I think we're going to have a run-up on Solana, especially Solana, between now and when that ETF is live. I think we're going to have a run-up. Then we're going to have a correction. And then, if we've got enough time, we will run into the end of the bull run. And as I said in my video, and I try and back my video up as much as I can with stats and figures, I think Solana could go to $600 without the ETF. With an ETF and with Grayscale out of the way, I think we could touch $1,000 for Solana. And yes, there are people out there telling you it's going to $2,500 and $3,000 for Solana. I know that. okay? I've even remembered that Cryptos R Us said we're going to have a $1,000 Solana by the end of the year. It's not looking likely, but that's why I try not to give overly optimistic price targets. I think $600 for the end of the cycle Solana is still a 3x from here, and that is a really good return considering it was $12 a year and a half ago, or a year ago, whenever it was. Okay, so I think Solana can do 600 without the ETF, 1,000 with the ETF if it's done at the right time. As for XRP, the court case will get dropped. It will probably go back above $1, maybe $1.30, $1.50. In the bull run, again, $3 is my probably worst case. $5 is what it could probably go to. $7 is a super bullish XRP. But we're running out of time. Okay, we've got 12 months left. We don't have 3 years. We've got 12 months left. And it's time to think about just what kind of return you're going to get. Are you going to get a 5x on your Bitcoin if you buy Bitcoin today? Because that would put Bitcoin over $400,000. I don't think so. If you go for Solana, and I'm telling you it might go to $600 to $800, that's a 3 to 4x. So you also have to take your expectations and start to limit them. I was telling you when Solana was $50 that you might be able to get a 10x this bull run, 20x this bull run. But we're now at $200+. I can't sit here and tell you you're going to get a 20x because that would be a $4,000 Solana, and that's not going to happen. So as the cycle nears the end, these returns that you're likely to see from the bigger market cap coins are going to come down and down and down to the point where if Bitcoin gets to $120,000, I'm likely to sit here and say you're not likely to do more than 20 or 30% if you buy Bitcoin now. You'd be better buying the alts, in my opinion. So you've got to be careful. Now, XRP, I think, is another good run. Now, I think Cardano, I think Solana, all the coins that I've been talking about for the last 2 years, I think they're all going to have solid runs. And as I've said in my video, when the money comes out of Bitcoin and Ethereum and it goes into alts, it's likely to go into the actual decent alts, but also we have to admit they're probably going to go into meme coins as well, even though I don't like the idea of that. So you need to hold sensible projects with a decent market cap and then maybe some meme coins, even though that goes against absolutely everything in my belief. There's not a lot I can say about it. Meme coins are going to have a good run. Now then, how far through are we? Oh, crikey on a bike, 38 minutes in. I feel like I've only been talking for 5 minutes. Remember, if you've got any questions, ask in chat. I do stop to read the chat every 5 minutes or so. So if you've got any questions, ask. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. If you're new here, smash the like button and subscribe or follow, whatever buttons you've got in front of you. Trying to get to 200,000 by the end of the year. Please help us out. Now then, this is an interesting article. And I mentioned that I wanted to do this a couple of weeks ago. And I've actually found an article yesterday, a really good one. So Johan Yun, thank you for doing this. This is the top 10 cryptos from the 2021 cycle. So this is what the top 10 was 3 years ago, okay? And there's a few surprises in there, but there's a few old hats. Now, if we went back 4 more years to 2017, 2016, we are likely to see a lot of coins that you don't remember, you might know anything about. I think EOS was in there. There were even some really low cap, trashy coins in there that I remember from when I used to mine. I was mining 6-8 years ago, and I used to mine using Nice Hash and a few others. And there were some coins that I used to mine that I don't. They probably still exist. I should buy them for posterity. So then, what do we think is going to be in the top 10 from that period? I would say certainly XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin are going to be in there. I would throw my hat in the ring and say Litecoin is going to be there. Let's go and have a look. So, Bitcoin hit a new all-time highs. What are we going to... Okay, as Trump prepares to resume office, the coin Telegraph looks back at how the landscape looked last time he was in office. And here we are. Now, I don't know whether to make this picture bigger. so you can see it properly. Here we go. So this is January the 20th, 2021. So nearly 4 years ago, we had Bitcoin number 1, Ethereum number 2, Tether number 3, not too bad, Polkadot 4, XRP in 5th, Cardano in 6th, Litecoin in 7th, Bitcoin Cash in 8th, Chainlink in 9th, and Stellar in 10th. That was the top 10 from nearly 4 years ago. Now, obviously, the likes of Polkadot, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Stellar as well, they've fallen away. But Chainlink, Cardano, XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, and Tether, 6 of the top 10 are still hanging around. But if we went back even further, another 4 years, you're probably going to find Bitcoin and Litecoin up there, because I think Ethereum only started 6 years ago, 7 years ago. So again, the landscape changes, but the noticeable thing about this is that it stopped changing as much. Back then, 6-7 years ago, the top 10 was changing every year. But we're now reaching maturity and adoption, and the market caps are getting higher, and the winners are starting to be picked. So Ethereum and Bitcoin are still first and second. The likes of XRP are still there. Cardano is now 9th, I believe. It got back into the top 10 this week. So that hasn't really moved out of the top 10. Chainlink, I think, was, or still is, 13th or 14th. So that's not fallen too far. But it's interesting to see just how little it has actually changed. And again, look at the market cap of Bitcoin. 656 billion, Ethereum 155 billion, Polkadot probably nowhere near. It's probably a third of that now, I'd imagine. So it's interesting to see. Interesting to see. I don't think we need to read any more about this. This is just going through the other coins, and I don't want to run out of time today. 11:42. We shall move on, and hopefully, if I've got some time left at the end of the stream, we will look at a category, or we'll look at some gainers and see where there's possible opportunity to get in. So Polygon Labs, Ag Layer co-developer, selects Agora's AUSD as the native stablecoin. What next for Pol? Right, so there are a lot of people out there that hold Pol, as it was Matic. I am one of them. I am a big believer in the project. The price action and the project are chalk and cheese. Okay. Now, again, I said this last week. Polygon and BNB didn't move at all last year until the end of the year, and they both absolutely pumped. I was buying BNB last year, maybe October, maybe September, I don't know, maybe a bit earlier. I was buying it for $200. That was BNB. And now it's at $600, and that's a large cap. Polygon didn't move, and out of the top 10 that I'd picked, they were the two that had moved the least. And then they both moved at the same time. And I'm not saying that's going to happen this time around, but the news coming out of Polygon is about adoption, integration, expansion. Everything is positive, and the price isn't. Now, the last time we had this conversation about a coin that I was positive on that didn't move, it was Cardano. And no, I did not expect Charles to be partnered with Donald Trump, but I did expect the development of Cardano to get to the point where it was going to add real value. And in the end, they've gone with a Bitcoin layer 2 solution, and that's where we are. So Cardano has ripped and probably will carry on ripping for a while. Polygon, on the other hand, is still doing what Polygon does, which is growing, and the price action is just not there at the minute. And I think it could be down to something very simply like metrics. Maybe they are not getting the metrics out there of how well it's doing. So for those of you that don't know, the Ag layer is basically a shared pool, a shared liquidity pool that allows blockchains to retain their sovereignty, okay, but use a shared common chain, okay, or layer, not chain. But they need a couple of other things. One of them is a stable coin. So if you are on Optimism, and Optimism is on the ag layer, and you need the funds on Arbitrum or even on Solana, if Solana's on the ag layer, it will just move that currency back and forth between the different chains. And it will use POL, the native token, the one that they swapped Matic into. They will use that as the gas fee. Okay, right then. So Polygon announced on November the 11th, which was yesterday, the Agora AUSD will be the native stablecoin for the ag layer. This will simplify cross-chain transactions and bring unified liquidity to the ecosystem. AUSD aims to streamline the process for developers and users in the blockchain space. So you want to get your dollars from an Ethereum layer 2. And let's say that AVAX is also signed up to this. And you want to send $100 from A to B across the ag layer. You will do that, and it will do it instantaneously and cost you a fraction of a POL. That's what they're trying to do. And at the minute, if you look, I think I told you this before, you need about 11 different wallets to maintain a presence on all the different blockchains. Now that, for me, is ridiculous. You should have one wallet that has one interface, that has an aggregated balance of how much money you have got, and you want to go and invest in DeFi on Solana. It should work. You should want to go and buy an NFT on Polygon, but the funds are maybe they're on Cardano, if Cardano was on the ag layer. Well, you should just be able to go and buy it for $30, and everything else underneath should just work. And that's what they're trying to do. So the aggregation summit that was in Bangkok highlighted the ag layer's role in advancing blockchain tech. The integration of AUSD is a significant step towards achieving this scalable network. The POL price is at 40 cents. It's still, for me, probably 40 to 60 cents below where it should be right now. It hasn't moved. It's one of the worst performers of the year. But then again, lots of the Ethereum layer 2s have also underperformed. Arbitrum, Optimism. I think there's going to be an ETH layer 2 renaissance at some point in the next 3 months where they're all going to pump. I think maybe not to all-time highs, but there will be a pump. It's too much of a clump of coins to have not moved for nobody to notice. And when Ethereum has run up 30% in a week and the layer 2's not, then it's probably a time to look at some of those coins as potentials for when you sell out of Ethereum and you sell into the layer 2s. Let me very quickly check in chat. Remember, if you're new here, say hello and give us a wave and subscribe. We are always here, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. The Oracle is streaming tonight at 9 p.m. He's going to go through the charts. We didn't do it yesterday. We normally do it Monday and Thursday. I think this week we might do it Tuesday and Friday, maybe. I'll speak to him about that and see what he says. How long do we have left? We have some time. Absolutely fantastic. Right then. So Eclipse. Again, I try and find as much information about new tech as possible. And I try to do that by sifting through all of the news about meme coins. And it's hard to do. Meme coins are all over the place right now. But Eclipse launches the first hybrid Ethereum Solana blockchain. Okay, the last article of the day, I haven't read it. I don't normally read the last article of the day. I throw it in there and then I give you my opinion as we get through it. So Eclipse has announced the launch of a unique hybrid blockchain that combines the strength of two of the most powerful networks in the industry, ETH and Solana. Question is, what happens if Solana goes down? Does the entire thing go down? The project represents the first Ethereum Layer 2 network supported by Solana and aims to combine scalability, efficiency, and security. Okay, right, let's have a look at the use cases. So Ethereum has often suffered from scalability issues and high transaction costs, which is why we have the layer 2s. Solana is renowned for its speed and low fees, characteristics that make it particularly suitable for supporting a large volume of transactions. As we know, combining the security of ETH with the efficiency of Solana It's created a hybrid blockchain that brings the best of both worlds to blockchain users and developers. I'd say so. I'd say the connection between the two chains is more important than actually benefiting from Solana's transactions, because you've got Optimism, Arbitrum, Polygon. You've already got layer 2s to counteract the problem of speed on Ethereum. So I can only imagine that tapping into Solana is the reason for doing this, rather than any nonsense about speed. So the layer 2 tech used by Eclipse allows for processing a large number of off-chain transactions, then consolidating them on the main Ethereum network. Thanks to the support of Solana's structure, Eclipse can guarantee an unprecedented speed for a layer 2 project based on Ethereum while maintaining security and decentralization. Actually, not a bad idea. So it's processing the transactions on Solana, rolling them up, and then depositing them onto Ethereum. Very nice. The support from the main investors in the sector reflects the innovative potential. Yes, yes, yes. The funds raised will further develop. Yes, yes, yes. The advantages: speed, security, interoperability, scalability. Yes, yes, yes. We know all about this. What's it going to be used for? That's the question. The launch of Eclipse represents a significant step in the evolution of hybrids. Yes. Again. I think, first of all, we need to know who's going to use this and why they're going to use it. Why they're going to use Eclipse over Polygon, over Arbitrum, over Optimism. It's already got a competitive market that it's going to be in. Rolling up the transactions on Solana and putting them onto Ethereum is not a bad idea. Depends on how it's going to be used, how it's going to be possible to use it. But on the whole, it looks promising. But I won't say anything else other than that, because Polygon rolls up the transactions and deposits them onto Ethereum right now. What's the difference? Why would you need Eclipse? As I said, if there is a way of using it like a wormhole or a tapping into both the features of the blockchain. So if you've got money on Eclipse, if you've got ETH on Eclipse and you can tap into the Solana DeFi, then yeah, it's great. But if it's simply going to roll up the transactions on Solana and bring them back, then you're solving a problem that's already been solved. So although I like the idea of it, I don't know what to think about that. What do I think about ICP? Good question. Let me have a quick look. ICP, we're going to look at the price action of ICP. First of all, if you have never heard of ICP, or you go onto one of these websites where it tells you what its all-time high is, and I always try and highlight this at every given opportunity, because it's important you understand this. ICP is never going back to its all-time high. Okay? If I showed you that chart, you would laugh. I've already drawn the white circle. Okay? It's never going to do that. Why? Because this spike up here, let me just change the text. This was Sam Bankman-Fried. He ripped the price up to $2,800. He pumped it up. He dumped his bags. It crashed the project. It crashed the price. It absolutely ruined the reputation of ICP. Most people on here, if I ran a poll and said, what do you think about ICP? I guarantee 75% of people would say it's trash. That's what I would say, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and disagree with them, because that's entirely up to them. Right. So we should ignore everything before April 2022. It's not fair to look at that. For price action wise and what it does, ICP, because I looked at ICP, I think I made a video about it back in the day. I bought ICP. I think I bought ICP here, and then it went lower for pretty much a year, and I didn't think it was going to perform very well. And then in the space of 3 months, it became my highest performing token of the year. Now, this is October Let's move that up a bit. This is October pre-bull run. This is October, I suppose you would say, Q4 of the halving. Right. I think if you were going to invest in RWA and Oracle tokens and anything technical, so if you're going to have a bag with, say, Chainlink in it, I would look at ICP. Now, where do I think the price is going to go? That's going to be the hard question, because you can't look at previous all-time highs. You'd probably have to look at a minimum of about $27 to $30. And then maximum, you might be looking at a 5 to 7x. It's not got the greatest reputation amongst people that have been in crypto for a long time. And I like the project. It's like Raoul Pal. So Raoul Pal was a Bitcoin maxi. Then he was an ETH maxi. Then he went all in on ETH. Okay. Then he became a Sol maxi, all in on Sol. And now he's a Sui maxi because he's on the board of Sui. Now, you then see somebody, and if you watched him for a long time, it taints the reputation of that person. The Sam Bankman-Fried pump that caused it to go over $2,000 has permanently damaged the reputation of ICP in the eyes of people that have been in crypto for a long time. That's why I'm not super bullish on it. I am bullish, and I do hold some of it, and I've held it since it was $4 or $5, whatever it got down to. I probably bought it at $4-ish, $4.50. So it's not going to rip, and it's not going to rip as much as some of the new coins. So getting in at $9, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7x. And I could be completely wrong, because again, if you're a clever chain, if you're a clever project, what you do is you keep all your bullish news for the bull run. So you keep all of your news for now and December and March and May, and especially September next year. That's when you release your bullish news, because peak FOMO, it could hit $50, $60, $70. Of course it could. It hit $2,300 based on a fake pump. So I'm never going to be overly optimistic on the price action of ICP because of the reputation it has with people watching it. But I like the project. I think it's solid. I think I looked at the revenue, their revenue of what they were making, and they're making good money. And that's always a bullish sign, because you look at some projects and they have a runway of 2 years. Now, you'll hear people talk about, we've got a runway till 2026, 2027. What that means is they have enough money to survive until 2026 or 2027, and then they will have no money. But they call it a runway because that's all they need to take off. Okay, so they call it a runway. It sounds very nice, very blue sky thinking. It means they've got enough money for 2 years. ICP, Chainlink, some of the AI projects that we've put on here, they make money. Jupiter and the DEXs that we talk about, they make money. I come from looking at stocks of companies that make money. So when I see projects that don't make money, it puts me off them. With regards to ICP, it makes money. It doesn't probably make as much as it's going to make in a 2 or 3 years' time, but it makes money. So long answer, short, don't expect it to absolutely rip up trees. That's my answer. But I do like the project. I do like the team. The previous price points, I mean, obviously, back in March, April, when we were looking for the ETF, it ran up to $19. If we go back here, there's $24. But I don't see anything. The problem is, again, you can't really look at any of that. So you have to look from now onwards. It was never that high a project. It was maybe a $40, $50 project. And now we're at nearly $9. So could it go back to $40, $50 maybe? Not every coin we look at on here is going to be a success. And, yes, it's back above its bull market support band from where it was. So it's wrong one. It's kind of not looking too bad, I suppose. But it's found a bottom there, which is good. It's then got this going on down here. We're in a bull run. It's probably going to go up a little bit. So I hope that answers your questions. Now then, where are we? 12 o'clock. I think we are doing good. Doge, can it hit $1? Raju, yes. Absolutely it can. Doge is going to hit $1, and I don't want it to, and I don't like it. And I sound like Peter Schiff. I know. I sound like Peter Schiff when Peter Schiff... Very nice trading view. Very nice. I'm sure there's a few people out there that are entertained. Now then, the last time I held Doge was when I sold it there. Now, this was, for those of you that don't know, that's where I sold Doge. I bought it down here. I don't know what it was, like 10 cents, 8 cents. This was the 10th of May, 2021. That was the night that Elon Musk hosted Saturday Night Live. And that's why it went to that price. Now, again, what is going on in the world where the price of a token goes to $72 based on Elon Musk appearing on Saturday Night Live? But that's what happened, and I sold it. And it has sat down here since June to February. 2 years, it's done nothing. And now we've got Trump, Vivek, RFK, Tulsi, the crowd in government. And Doge holders have gone, Elon Musk is now the president of America. Doge is going to $10. And I'm sitting here shaking my head. It's garbage. It's a garbage coin. It's got garbage tokenomics. It's being mined into infinity. It has no value. It's done nothing for 3 years. It's trash. And it's going to go to $1. Because there's talk of a Doge ETF. Okay? And Elon Musk in charge. So, of course, it's going to go to $1. It's a ridiculous price. And it's a ridiculous project. And it's a waste of time. And it's a waste of money. And people are going to get wrecked. The same people that bought here, monkey see, monkey do. I saw Elon Musk on Saturday Night Live. I'm going to buy Doge. Those people who bought 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, 3.5 years ago, sorry, they're still in loss. Everybody who bought here has lost money in Doge. And I guarantee you that when it was down in that red zone at the bottom, they capitulated. I don't even know why I've got lines on here. It's pointless. It's pointless having lines on these charts with Doge, okay? I might as well just do that. There you go. That's what's going to happen with Doge. It's going to go up. Elon Musk, ETFs, is going to $1, okay? Because it makes no difference what I say. It makes no difference what anybody says about Doge. That red line there is where it's going to, okay? That is where Doge is going to. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. And people are going to buy it. People have put DMs, messaged me, would you buy Doge? And my answer is simple. I won't buy it. I will never buy it. But will it go to $1? Absolutely. Probably 95% certain it'll go to $1 because of Elon Musk. And that is not how you should carry out your investment strategy. The same with meme coins. They're an utter waste of time. Okay? But some meme coins become bigger than they are. Raju, Rocket Peak was a pump and dump. Similar things happening right now. So again, all I would say to you is this. If you want to go and buy meme coins, I did this yesterday, but I'll do it again today, just so you all know, and then I'll log off because I'm getting irate about Doge and Doge. Doge, I think I get triggered by Doge. I think that's my problem. I think I need to see a psychiatrist about it because Doge shouldn't be where it is. It's an imposter. You know when you see your football team line up at the start of the match and some fat bloke with a bald head and a beard runs on in the same kit and stands by them, right? That's Doge, okay? It shouldn't be there. It's I'm the wrong thing. It shouldn't be where it is. And there are other coins, right? If you just look, Shiba Inu, has built an ecosystem. It's got a DAO. It's got a token for its DAO called Bone. It has its own metaverse. It's got its own DEX. It's got its own layer 2, I think, or it's about to go live. That has a community behind it. Bonk is everywhere. It's even on the Revolut app. You get it for that. Floki has its own universe, right? Brett and Popcat and the likes down here don't. Cat in a Dog's World, who sponsor the channel, they have got their own animated series coming out. It's a cat. People love cats, right? But if we're talking about a $56 billion project that's done nothing but sit on its hands for 3, 4, 5 years, it's Dogecoin. It's trash. It is absolute trash. But if you want to buy it, and you want to make some profit on it, by all means, who am I? Who am I? Okay? But take my word for it, nothing good in the end will come of Doge unless it changes its tokenomics and potentially switches from proof of work to proof of stake. If it limits and caps the number of coins, if it changes to proof of stake, if there is a roadmap for building it out in development, if it gets integrated with X, then yes, maybe it holds its value as a tipping coin of the future. But for now, it's trash. Anyway, enough of me talking like that. Go on, Mike, preach. I'm trying to preach, but nobody will listen. Nobody listens. Go and buy Chainlink. Go and buy ICP. Go and buy Cardano and XRP. I know I'm going to buy a goat, a cat, a dog, a fish, a lizard, and a monkey. And I guarantee you, those people will probably 10x my profits in this bull run. That's the problem. Anyway, I think that's time. I think I've run the course of everything. So, Raja, it's going to go to $1. It's going to get an ETF. Elon Musk is going to stand behind Donald Trump and hold up a Doge sign. It's going to go to $1. I do think if you do get towards $1 on Doge, you should take your profits. If you bought Doge at 8 or 9 cents and it's at $1, how much more do you want from the coin? That's 10 or 12x. Sell it. Nobody goes broke taking profits, and you only regret the profits you didn't take when the price falls. You regret losing out when it falls back down. And the same with Bitcoin. If you sell your Bitcoin today and it goes to 150,000 because you missed the retracement, you'll regret it. If you sell now and it goes to 150,000, you'll regret it. But you can't live your life on regrets. If $90,000 Bitcoin pays your mortgage off and puts your kids through school, sell everything you've got today. Pay your mortgage off, send your kids through school, and in 5 or 6 years' time, you'll sit there and go, this is my house, my kids have had a private education, and I've got money in the bank. What do you want from life? 10 million, 100 million, 1 million, 100,000. You need a goal. You can buy crypto, yes, but over time you need a goal. And my goal is currently 2.5x away. That's how close to the goal I am. 2.5x. Which is a 250% move from here over the next year. Is that possible? Entirely possible. If I get a 2x, I'll be more than delighted. So my expectations are probably a lot less than yours. But have a goal and have a get out. If you bought Gotius Maximus at 1 cent and it's now at 70 cents and you haven't sold any, why? That's my final point. So if you are a bear, grin and bear it. I'll see you in the morning. Don't forget, the Oracle is back in 9 hours from now. I'll see you soon. Maybe I'll make a video today. Take care, everybody. Thank you for joining. See you soon.